It is time for sock number 2 from 52 Weeks of Socks. So I have posted a video where I made the Una socks, a pattern from 52 Weeks of Socks, which is a sock book. Well, it's a book with sock patterns in it, from Lena magazine. Lena, I don't know. I'm trying to pronounce French. Got a little rusty over the years, but I have made the Una socks before, and I posted a video, and I would like to make another pair of socks. So the socks that I want to make this time are these socks in the background of the, so they're on the front, which are these, the Riverbed socks. This is a pattern by Joji Locatelli, or Joji, I don't know, I think it's like Joji Locatelli, and it's a DK weight sock, and it has this beautiful cable on the front and on the back. So I'll show you again. And after looking at the instructions, it's actually not a cable. It's just made with yarn over, like a yarn over and a SSK or a knit two together, and with ribbing. So it actually is not a cable, which I think is really cool, that it looks like a cable but it's not a cable. Is this called a mock cable then too? I know if you have 2 stitches that you twist, then it's called a mock cable, but maybe I would say this is a mock cable. But anyway, they're pretty short socks, so that would be good, because last socks that I made, the Una socks, I made them a little too long. So I kind of want to make them a little shorter. And I have this one yarn that I want to use, and I'll put in a clip of the yarn that I'm using after this. But I only have a certain amount of yarn. So the pattern for the size 1, so I'm going to make the first size, it calls for a yarn that is 100 grams, and then it's 212 meters per 100 grams. And I have 60 grams of this one yarn, but I'm planning to hold them together with 2 strands of mohair. And it might be a little thick, but I feel like just 1 strand of mohair is a little too thin. So yeah, the 60 grams of that yarn would be like 190 meters or something. So I would have to play a little bit of yarn chicken, but that's okay. How I'm gonna make them is 2 at a time, like I did with my Una socks. I found that it's really nice to make 2 at a time socks, because when you're finished with both. And yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. So I'm gonna think of how I'm gonna do the yarn management, and then I'm just gonna see what happens. I think I have enough yarn. I mean, they say 1 skein of the 212 meter yarn. It'll be okay. So that's what I'm gonna do. The Riverbed socks. Let's see how fast I can make these. I know with the last pair of socks that I made, it took about 2 months almost, because I was just postponing to do the heel, and now I won't. So let's see how fast they'll go. DK weight socks. All right, let's just get started. This is all of the yarn wound up together. I weighed all the yarn that I used up all of the blue yarn, and then I weighed how much of the purple and how much of the gray I put in, and it creates this really nice strand. So I actually already started. So here you can see I'm using a 3mm needle, and I cast it on for the smallest size. I'm planning on doing 10 rounds for the ribbing, which is less than the pattern states. Yeah, and there's some different instructions for right and left. So I'm starting with the right one, and then this is the left one. So the one with, this is my like first row. So this is the right foot and this is the left foot, because they have different instructions for the cables. So I think that's gonna be super cute. I really like the different shades in there, and it's so soft. It's really so soft. It's incredibly fluffy, and I feel like I have a little bit of a thicker thread than a DK, but that's okay. I mean, I'm using 2 strands of mohair, so that makes sense. Yeah, but we'll see how it turns out. It's funny that I'm making all of these dark colored socks. But anyway, I'm just gonna continue knitting on this. So hello. I wanted to talk about one more thing about these socks. They have been going so fast. But the thing that I love about these Riverbed socks is that they have reverse stockinette. So you're basically purling a lot. Sorry, my hair looks weird, but I went to the hairdresser and they made these well, I asked for it, but they made these like little short bits, but they're in my way all the time. So now I got this little thing to put it up like that. So don't mind the weird hair, but we'll get over that. It's my work from home day. Yeah, it was my work from home day. Luckily it's after 5 and it's time for knitting. Yeah, Riverbed socks, reverse stockinette, because I have been talking on my channel. I think in one of my knitting podcasts I said, yeah, I really like socks. I like knitting socks, but I don't really wear them because they're kind of bumpy. And then a viewer, one of you guys, told me maybe you should try, I think they were called something like princess socks or something, which basically means that you knit them in reverse stockinette, so you purl all the time, so that your feet would touch the stockinette part, so the knit side of the fabric. So yeah, by the way, this is my progress. See how insanely fast they're going? Oh, I think this light is also really making it a little more clear what they actually look like. This is one of those hard colors to grasp, but that's what they look like. Super fluffy, 2 strands of mohair. Yeah, so there's reverse stockinette everywhere. I made some alterations, by the way, because the heel turn of the heel flap and gusset was actually knitted and not purled. So I made that alteration because to me it seemed really weird to have just a little chunk of stockinette here and then have reverse stockinette again. So I made a little alteration to do that. But so the whole inside is super soft and smooth, so I'm really curious how that is gonna turn out. But there's my little update. I don't have that much longer to go, which is crazy because if I compare it to the Una socks, those took, well, I had a whole month break in those socks because I postponed doing the heel flap. But these I casted on earlier this week, Saturday, I don't know, a few days ago. It's going so fast. So I'll just keep on knitting on it, and they'll be done in no time. They're finished. I have been wearing these a lot. I finished them on the 31st of December of 2023. And I was already editing this video and I saw that I started them on October 1st or something. So I have been working on them for a while. And they already look very worn, so I am not the greatest video maker right now. But I put them on my sock blockers to show you. They're so cozy. I could recommend it again and again to make socks with mohair in them. It's so nice and soft. It's almost like kind of weird the first time you put them on. Because it's so soft on your feet and you're just not used to that, but they're nice and warm and so cozy. And I think the cable, or it's not an actual cable but the fake cable on the front, turned out super pretty. I did a few alterations. I did the leg a little shorter because I was worried I was going to run out of yarn, which I didn't. I ended up having quite a bit left, which that's why I love making toe-up socks, is because you can estimate a lot better how far to go, and you can't forever go on if you knit cuff down, because you have the toe coming up, but you also only have a certain length of foot that you need to do. But if you do toe up, then you can estimate a little better. You can just make the leg as long as you can. So that's why I kind of prefer doing toe up socks. But I've been doing a lot of cuff down socks right now anyway. But yeah, so that's one alteration. I made this a little shorter. And one other thing I did is at the bottom, the heel turn. So the whole sock is in reverse stockinette. So the inside is nice and soft because it has the normal stockinette. So the soft side is against your foot, and then the bumpy side is on the outside. But then for the heel turn, it wasn't written. It was written as if to do the heel turn of the heel flap in knit stitches and not in purl stitches. So then you would have a little area here that would be knitted. So I swapped that over to do purl stitches so that it matches with the rest of the sock, which I thought was kind of weird that that was in the pattern, because this is supposed to be a really, well, yeah, a good designer, I think. And I mean, it's a book. So I don't know how that got through, that didn't work out, because I don't think it should be that these stitches should be knitted, because then it doesn't match. But yeah, love the socks. I would definitely not do this cable sock again in the mohair and the fluffy, because you can barely see it. Well, you can't really see it that well. I mean, you can see it, but yeah. And the funny thing with the mohair is that it's just shedding so much. So on the inside, there's all these like little pockets of fluff, like bunched together. And on the bottom side, you can almost see it's like worn off. The mohair is worn off from walking on them. But all in all, happy with these. Would recommend the pattern. They fit really nicely. They fit really well. I love the DK weight sock. I think next time, if I would make these again, I would make them in just a DK weight yarn and not with a mohair, so you can see the cable a little better. But I would definitely use this pattern to just make plain reverse stockinette socks without the cable on the front. So definitely a win, and nice that I have finished another pattern from the 52 Weeks of Socks book. So now you might wonder what is coming up next, and I have a really fun little premiere, because since we're talking about socks and Valentine's Day is coming up, I have made a pattern, and that is released right now. So the day that I post this video will be the release day of these cute socks. These are the Blossoming Heart socks by me, maanknitwear. And they have these cute little pots with flowers in the shape of a heart. And other than that, it's just a really simple cuff down sock. All the instructions are in the pattern with this beautiful heel flap that has a honeycomb stitch. And yeah, other than that, heel flap and gusset, cuff down. Yeah, and I love them. So you can go grab your copy of this pattern if you want. I'll have the link in my description box. You can also just look for Blossoming Heart socks on Ravelry, or yeah, on maanknitwear, then you'll get my 2 sock patterns will be out there. So yeah, I hope you like them as much as I do. I really, really love them, and I can't wait for more people to make them. I've already seen a few testers of mine make them, and they have been looking lovely. So that was part 2 of my knitting through the 52 weeks of socks book. And I'll see whatever will come next. I have a few socks on my needles right now that are not from the 52 weeks of socks book. So let me know how you like these kinds of videos, then maybe I'll make another one. It's really fun to document a whole journey of making socks, and then especially this one that took such a long time. Yeah, it's kind of cool to see. I'm posting this video in February, but I started them in October. So sometimes that just happens, and I'm a normal knitter, just like anybody who's watching this. Or if you're not a knitter, I hope you enjoyed this video as well. All right, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!